Welcome back. This is the first episode of Always Sunny in 2018. I want to do a quick pickups video just to show you some of the things I picked up at the end of 2017 and a few weeks ago. Let's go. Let me get started by saying I'm really sorry in the lack of videos, guys. I think it's been about 6 months since my last video of any kind. A lot of crazy things going on. My game capture device crashed, but I promise you new videos are coming. So I thought a pickups video right now would do for the time being. So let's get started. Let's just talk about the year the PlayStation 4 has had. I mean, it's been crazy. A bunch of games coming out this past Christmas season and more coming out in 2018. I'm so excited for. A lot of my money is going towards those games. So I had to pick up some games this past Christmas season, and I picked up a Christmas present for my brother, actually. He's a big fan of Horizon Zero Dawn. I have not played this game at all yet. I've played maybe like 10 minutes of it, so that doesn't really count. It looks amazing, it looks beautiful. He loves it. He's a very picky gamer, and he says it's probably one of his favorite games. So, got this. Definitely gonna check this out as soon as he's done. Okay, guys, also coming up next, I got Uncharted The Lost Legacy. I got this actually Black Friday weekend. Huge Uncharted fan like everybody else is. I have not played this game yet. So I got this in November. I have not played this game yet. I think the reason why I haven't played the game yet is because I'm scared, because once I finish Lost Legacy, then that's it. There's no more Uncharted games. So I've explored everything in that world, and it's kind of sad to me if I finish this game. I know when I play it, I'm not going to stop. So I actually picked up the sequel to Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. Huge fan of the first one. This game just expands on the Nemesis system even more. You can build an army and conquer different territories and castles. It's a lot of fun. The graphics are great. Some of the side missions and everything gets a little repetitive, but it's hard not to lose yourself in the world that they give you, and it's definitely worth picking up in my opinion. You might remember that I played Evil Within 1 on the PS3 last year. Huge fan of that game. That game for me came out of nowhere, so I recently picked up Evil Within 2. I don't want to spoil a lot because my next video actually will be an Evil Within 2 review. But all I can say is look out for that review coming in a few weeks. You'll get my full opinion on this game and if it's worth picking up. Okay, guys, another game I picked up, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Now, I am a huge Digimon fan when I was a kid. A lot of the games don't really seem to interest me that much, but this one really did. I like the idea of like the graphics and then the RPG style play. It's not a Digimon World game, it's Digimon Story, so it's more like the Digimon Adventure for the PSP a few years ago. Huge fan of it so far. I've only been playing it for a few hours, but it's a great game. I think it's really cheap, so why not pick it up? I know there's a new Digimon game that just came out, Hacker's Memory, I believe. So once I finish this one, I'll hopefully pick up that one. I finally was able to get my hands on an original Nintendo. I'm so happy to have this in my collection. It's the grandfather systems. It was actually much yellower than it is now. I used some of that bleach on many YouTube tutorials, and YouTube gamers will show you how to like brighten up the system back to its original shape. It looks a lot better now, so I'm really happy to have this in my collection, and I can finally play the games that I've been buying. I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. A lot of you are huge Metal Gear Solid fans, so it's so nice to have the original on the Nintendo. Common game, only worth a few bucks, but it's great to finally have this game because I have most of the games, my brothers have most of the games, so this is just a nice addition to the collection. Super Spike Volleyball. This game was one of the first Nintendo games I ever played, so this holds a special place in my heart. A lot of fun, very addicting. So much fun playing with another person or on teams. A great game, highly recommend it. Sports games on Nintendo are just so much fun. Another game I picked up, Simon's Quest, Castlevania 2. Great label, few bucks, great deal on this. Happy to have this one in my collection as well. And one of the games I just actually played like last month for the first time ever was Ninja Gaiden. I played it on my Pi. I loved it and I wanted to pick it up. Found a clean copy for a few dollars. A big thing about collecting Nintendo games and Super Nintendo games for me is the labels. The labels for me, I'm kind of picky. They have to be clean. They don't have to look brand new, but like if the gray on the cartridge has writing on it or anything, I'll just clean that up myself. So I'm not really worried about that, but the label has to be clean. It's just something that I know I'm picky about. Some of you might not even care if the label's even on, as long as it's the game. It's just something that I look for when I look for collecting games, is that the label is well taken care of. With that in mind, actually, I recently bought a few PS1 games that I used to have as a kid, and then I sold them for PS2 games and so on and so forth. So I picked up a few PS1 games, and I've had a few PS1 games for a long time. And after I brought them home, I was thinking to myself, they just don't look right, they look kind of crummy. So then I saw a few people on Instagram and YouTube suggest just buying new CD jewel cases and then moving the art from one to another, and I didn't think about that, but once I finally made the change, like this is my original Resident Evil 2, but it looks brand new, and it did not look like this at all a few weeks ago. It's crazy because as long as the art is okay inside the cases, if you could replace the CD case, it's gonna look brand new. And yeah, some people might not like it not being in its original case that it was sold in, but I mean, it looks way better, and it probably ups the resale value just a little bit at least. About some of those PS1 games that I did pick up, I picked up just a few, nothing big, nothing crazy. Warhawk is a very fun game on the PS1. Like I said, I would love to show you guys some in-game footage of this, but like I said, my game capture device crashed. Metal Gear Solid VR missions, very clean copy of this. Changed out the case, it looks even cleaner now. This is actually the case that this originally came in, it's the Fawn filter or Siphon filter too. And huge fan of this series. This is one of the few PS1 games that I just beat within the first few weeks of owning. Like, huge fan of this game. Another system I picked up was the Sega Dreamcast, and this is so much fun, guys. I can't stress enough how fun the games are, because they're basically like arcade games, like Crazy Taxi, Virtua Tennis. Some titles I played for the first time because they were hyped up to me so much, like Power Stone, and they lived up to my expectations and all the hype. And I actually won a competition on Facebook from Video Games Monthly. Basically what Video Games Monthly is they send you games every month for like a subscription fee for your retro consoles. I don't go through them, but it was nice of them to send me free Dreamcast games, and they actually sent me sports games that were sealed, like 2K1, NBA 2K, NFL 2K, NHL. Games that I probably wouldn't have bought or collected, sports games, but it's nice of them to send me free games, especially sealed games at that. So really happy to receive those, and really happy to start building for the Dreamcast. I have a copy of Mega Man. I've had it since I was little, and the label was great, but the game itself didn't want to work. I opened it up, tried a few things, cleaned it, tried even some soldering techniques. Nothing would work. The game is dead. So I was really bummed about that, but I found a cheap copy online because the label was just so terrible. I bought that, switched that board, that ROM, with my label, and finally can say that I have Mega Man X all over again. And it's such a fun game. It's a very hard game because growing up I only played it for a few times before it stopped working, and in the few times I was really good at it, but now I'm just terrible at that game. Another game that I picked up for Super Nintendo is a very clean, very crisp copy of Disney's Goof Troop. Fun game. It's a puzzle game, 1 or 2 players. I just recently got into it because a friend of mine told me about it. He loved it, so he has a good opinion on video games. Check it out. Great game if you don't have it. Another heavy hitter on the Super Nintendo that I can mark off my list is Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time is a timeless classic on the Super Nintendo. Such an addicting game, easy to pick up, play with your friends. This is a classic. This is one of the best games for the system, hands down in my opinion. This was one of my goals in collecting, was to get this game. I finally have it. I can check it off the list. Let's talk Sega Genesis right now. I've recently been collecting box Sega Genesis games because I just love the clamshell boxes for the Genesis. They're so much easier and cheaper to collect for than Super Nintendo, and one of the games that was released on both that I think is better on the Genesis is Aladdin. Picked up a copy, complete in box. So happy to have this in my collection. Fun game. Once you get to that cave level, you know, that really hard cave level where there's bats trying to kill you, that's the level where I get stuck on. Let me know how far you guys get, if you even beat the game. Yeah, screw those bats, man. I tried. I was playing for an hour, in that level straight, trying to get past it. Didn't work. So Yeah, happy to have this in the collection. Okay, here's the thing. You're so money, baby, and you don't even know it. You know, you're so fucking money. And this game is the reason why I love Swingers so much, and Swingers is the reason why I love this game so much. I know they don't play just NHL 94 in Swingers in that scene. I think it's like another hockey game they play. But that movie made me want to play hockey games so bad when I was little. And this is just a great sports game for the Sega Genesis. Complete in box, label looks clean, great game, pick it up. On my last pick of this video, I showed you some dust sleeves from Video Game Dust Sleeves that I picked up for the Streets of Rage 2 copy I have. Recently found the box for only $5, and I don't know if that's a good deal or not. I think it is, because boxes for great games like this are kind of hard to find. But yeah, it was only $5 at my local game resale shop, so great copy too. Clean copy of the box, looks great, good condition. I still have my Video Game Dust Sleeves inside of it just for extra protection. This is one of my favorite games of all time, so really happy to have the box. Now, I was in a Second and Charles in November last year. If some of you don't know what Second and Charles is, it's basically a big store that has books, records, DVDs, movies, video games, retro games. You can trade in stuff, whatnot. And there was 2 games I saw that caught my eye for really good prices, and they're in the same plastic box. And you can tell that they were sold, but they were traded in by the same person because they were both in immaculate condition. X-Men 2 and Gargoyles. Now, both of these games are amazingly fun. Now, I love both the Gargoyles cartoon and the X-Men cartoon so much, so to finally have these games was an awesome addition to my collection, and it means a lot to me to have these games. Now, many of you know that those games came originally boxed in cardboard boxes. They're both sort of hard to find. I wouldn't say they're rare, but they're hard to find, and they made the game worth much more, and it's just a hassle to try to find the cardboard boxes. It's like finding SNES boxes. So I went to Custom Video Game Cases online, and they make custom Sega Genesis boxes in red, clamshell, print out some pretty good looking art, and you can just stick them right in there. Even though they're not the official boxes, these clamshells are actually really good priced, and I'm really happy to have these games boxed now. Now, when I started collecting, there was one goal in my mind that I had to have in retro gaming, and I picked it up, got a Video Game Dust Sleeve for it. It was Comic Zone. I got a Video Game Dust Sleeve for it, and I thought to myself, I'll never find the box. I'll never find the box copy. Well, turns out I actually did run across the box. The actual box, the cardboard box, you can see this is my very bad form of plastic wrapping it. Complete in box, and the game is near mint. This is my small holy grail, is Comic Zone Complete in box. And this game is so much fun, probably my top 3 favorite in Sega Genesis history. Thrilled, and just I feel relieved to cross this off the list. So happy to have this. Go look out there for like your holy grails, and you might get lucky, you might find them. Now, this next item is not a video game, but I'm a huge fan of Stranger Things, and there is a VHS box Blu-ray and DVD set. It looks just like a VHS cassette, like something you'd rent at a Blockbuster. The box actually looks like a VHS. This thing is season 1. If you're a huge fan of Stranger Things like I am, you have to have this in the collection because it looks amazing. And it just looks awesome on your shelf. If you have a retro shelf, or if you have like a movie or DVD shelf, this looks great on your shelf. Actually, it's actually a lot bigger than most. It's like a few inches bigger than most VHS tapes because it's huge, because it has to hold Blu-rays and DVDs. But great. I think this was only 15, 20 bucks. So great deal on this. Happy to have this. This isn't a video game, I know, but it's just so cool. Like, how could you not think this is the coolest thing ever? Alright guys, this last item I bought for myself. I treated myself for my birthday. In terms of retro gaming, I do everything on an HDTV. My Pi is to my HDTV, of course. All my classic consoles are on my HDTV through converter boxes. When they go through that converter system, especially PS2, N64, NES, it just doesn't look that good, and it kind of bugs me. So I recently wanted to pick up a CRT TV for cheap, I see a lot of cheap ones on LetGo and OfferUp and eBay, and I was hoping to go to a thrift store and find one, but then I got really intrigued by PVMs and BVMs on Instagram and YouTube. So I was like, okay, well, I'll probably have to buy one on eBay because where am I gonna find one here? Well, I work at a local small TV station. My boss actually was selling one, so he sold me one. I was asking about it, and he sold me one. Gave me a great deal, and I'm actually really happy to finally have my first PVM. It's an 8-inch PVM. It's not the biggest screen, but you do get used to the size. And it kind of reminds you of playing on a little TV when you're a kid. I'm gonna try to lift it. It's not light, that's for sure. This, if you can see this, I'll put up some better pictures, is my PVM. And the system looks amazing when you hook it up to the TV, because PS2 looks great on CRT TVs and PVMs. When you use composite, it looks great. When you use S-Video, it looks great. When you use component, it looks the best. This PVM actually takes composite, S-Video, and component. Now you do need connectors. You need RCA to BNC turnarounds to go from your yellow, red, and white cables to this particular model. They sell them on Amazon for pretty cheap, or if there's still a Radio Shack in your area, definitely go there. The quality is amazing. It looks great for N64. It looks great for PS2. Definitely Nintendo. I was really blown away by Nintendo's color. It looks like it was meant to be with that system. Dreamcast looks amazing. Genesis and Super Nintendo, obviously, the sprites just pop out at you. Highly recommend playing on a CRT TV. If you want the best quality though, I'd suggest going with a PVM, because even on the small screens, like I said, on an 8-inch screen, the quality is amazing. And my camera probably won't pick up the footage as well, but in person you have to see it. I definitely recommend one if you can find one at Goodwill, or if you can find one in a thrift store or an old electronics store, pick it up. It looks great. But yeah, I'm so happy I've treated myself to this present for my birthday, and it's just kind of like got really lucky because my boss happened to have one that he was trying to sell. And he said it only actually had a few times being used, so it's very clean, and it's not as old as I thought it was going to be. It's from the year 2000, I believe, so it looks very good. I'm really happy to have that in my collection. And that's it, guys. That's all I got. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or concerns, comments about anything I picked up, let me know in the comments below. Stay tuned for an Evil Within 2 review. Until then, take care, guys. Now you do need connectors. You need a composite to... What the f***? I can't think of it.